Welcome to TradersArmy.com, defending your right to build wealth and preserve capital for generations to come.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday morning edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I am your host, Chuck Fulkerson. Hope everybody had an absolutely amazing trading day yesterday, as we are about to get rolling like we do each and every day, looking at the same 10 to 12 futures markets, identifying potential breakouts and reversals from an educational perspective. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So the S&P this morning, we are up a little bit after yesterday's sell-off. Now, we did a midday market commentary yesterday. And with our midday market commentary, we had talked about the fact that we had rallied up off of this little level, caught a nice little move up. And I was speaking to somebody yesterday who had taken a little bit of a breakout on the way up and taken their stop and moved it underneath this pivot. That's a really good move, a really good opportunity to look for as we are kind of continuing to march higher. Now, we did get a bit of a pullback in the overnight hours, but have kind of continued to move up. I'm not going to use this level here as a reversal. I would typically take a level like this because this is a pretty clean area. This level right here, pretty clean level, pretty clean opportunity if I were to look at it in a vacuum. But I can't look at price in a vacuum because the time of day that this is formed is not a strong enough time of day for me to lean on. So while it's technically a pretty clean level, for a reversal, I don't love it in the fact that the time of the day that it was created. So I will, highlight it, show it. I'm not going to leave that line on the chart, but if somebody were to take it, I certainly don't hate it. I think that there's a chance we'll kind of continue to march higher from here, and this could be a good opportunity in there. So taking a look over at the NQ, we see that we're also in a bit of a rally, up about 8.5 points this morning. Same level appears right in here once again, not formed at a truly opportune time of day. If you dive in and look at these on the 15-minute time period, you see that we essentially had a parabolic move down, right? There's no real levels in here for us to lean on for a short coming back out of here. So I don't necessarily, if you want to try to short this market, you've got no strong levels to lean on here. And so long is probably the smarter play on some sort of a reversal down at one of these levels. You could theoretically lean on this area here for a 15-minute chart if you wanted to give that one a go. Now, this was off of the, kind of the retest of that gap area. So if you do want to give a short a try, this would be the area to look for it. Although understanding that is clearly against the big picture, as well as on a 15-minute chart. So your probabilities by definition are going to be a bit lower, but at least wanted to highlight that area. Crude oil, we are still between our levels in crude, as we have identified a 15-minute reversal level up here and then an hourly one much lower down in that region. And so I'm going to not add anything more to crude. There's no reason to spend any time on it based on what we talked about yesterday. Gold. So looking at gold. Now, I had identified this potential level for a reversal in gold yesterday. We did rally off of the 1 hour level, but got a very weak rally. So if you took that little rally, I'm going to actually say that this is no longer going to be a level that I'm willing to take a long in, because we just didn't get much of a move out of it. I do believe, however, that it's setting up for a potential breakdown off of this level. And so we may get a breakdown off of this level for a continuation of the move down. Next, looking at the bonds, the Aussie, the Euro, and the Canadian. In our bond market yesterday, we reached this level. We got a nice little move away from it. Now we converted to a confirmation style entry. So you may or may not have gotten filled. That confirmation style entry we converted to it right about here once we had touched it. So if you are already in it, then you've started to get a little bit of a move away. If you didn't get into that thing, I think there's a chance you could just break it down below this candle's low for an opportunity to get short coming off of that level. So looking over at the Aussie, yesterday we talked about a potential breakdown off of this Aussie level. We didn't really get much of a movement off of there, although it's still holding true. So if you didn't pop into there, I don't think we even got a tick below that level. So if you didn't pop into there, there's still an opportunity. I think if we break below there, right now your stop would be above here because it's always got to be above the pivot. If you did get in, then your stop has still not been hit because your stop would be above that pivot. So the Aussie one's still very playable. So is the euro, between both levels of demand and supply that we had talked about yesterday afternoon. We are coming to a level in the Canadian dollar down here that was found on the hourly chart. If I move this to the 4-hour, this is off of this region here. Now, the reason that it's a dashed line is because we've already come close to that level once. So just be aware that that is something to consider. And our big picture is definitely telling us to be a seller more than a buyer. So that is a slightly lower degree of probability level. And I wouldn't be too mad at you if you decided to take a short up in here, or rally back up into this region and shorted it down into that area. Last but certainly not least would be our Great British Pound and Japanese Yen levels. So in our Great British Pound and Japanese Yen levels, we have this area that is the origin of this move higher. Price is coming down into that level. Now that area was found essentially on the 4-hour, which was the origin of this move on the breakout. We're not quite back to there yet. When I look at the 4-hour, trim it back to the 1-hour, there's a little bit of a reversal coming off of here. So I think there's room to trade it all the way down into this region, especially for a day trader, somebody looking on the day trade side. And then in the Japanese yen, another one where you may get a breakdown below this line and have an opportunity to trade it below that area down to this next level. Yesterday I talked about the copper position. So our copper trade, we're rallying up off of that level very nicely. So if you took that copper trade, leave me a comment down below so that we see kind of what you're looking at there. And then in nat gas, we're coming close to a potential reversal area. I mean, look at that on a 4-hour, so you can see where it comes from. It comes from this area up in here. We're coming close to that level, but we're definitely basing before it. So understand the risks associated with that, especially with all the basing that's happening before the level. That basing before the level makes it a little lower probability. So hopefully that gets you set up for the day. If you got any questions, please feel free to send us an email, support@tradersarmy.com. I will talk to you all real soon. Have a great day.